Huh?
Can you hear me? So I welcome you all to this report launch from Uwezo, Tanzania. This is a pre-primary education report launch. It's a pilot report that a pilot assessment that we did in Wani district, Chalinze district in Tanzania, and we want. Thank you. You are welcome, Gaudens. Karibu, Gaudens.
Thank you so much, Grayson. Please confirm if you can hear me.
We can hear you very well.
Okay, thank you. So it's really an honor to be here today, joining Uwezo Tanzania on launching this very important report on Uwezo assessment for pre-primary education in Tanzania. Though we are not in person and we can do it virtually, I think it's a good practice. So, dear guests and colleagues and some stakeholders in the room, and the incredible people that work in the education space in the country and across the region, good morning. It is a privilege to join you today for this significant occasion, which we have named it the launch of the Uwezo Assessment Report on Pre-Primary Education. So I extend my sincere appreciation to Uwezo Tanzania, first for their commitment to driving evidence-based dialogue on education, and for inviting a number of stakeholders, including myself, to sharing one of their work that they've been doing in one of the areas that they work. So to start with, we all recognize that early learning is the foundation upon which lifelong success is built. And we understand that formative years of child's life are critical, so which shape cognitive development, fostering social and emotional growth, and setting the stage for future learning. So to me, this report offers an analysis of where Tanzania as a country, where we stand, and maybe paint a picture on the challenges that remain and how we can work collectively to strengthen pre-primary education in the country, and probably even taking the lessons to other countries. So being part of today's launch, it reinforces an essential truth that quality early childhood education is not a privilege, but a right. It is an investment that determines the trajectory of individuals, communities, and the nation as a whole. So that being the case, I commend Uwezo Tanzania for their dedication in bringing this research to light and for ensuring that data-driven insights inform the policies and programs that will shape the future of our youngest learners. As we engage in discussions today, I encourage all of us, educators, researchers, and some of us who are working in policy influencing and the evidence generation space, to use this moment as a catalyst to learn and influence change that we want to see. So I encourage, let's ask hard questions, explore solutions, and commit collaborative action that ensures every child, regardless of their background, has access to a nurturing and equitable early learning environment. So I look forward to the conversation ahead and seeing the impact of this report translate into real life and tangible progress for pre-primary education in our country. And I wouldn't take much time to talk rather than waiting for the presentation of the findings and the following discussions that we can deliberate on, maybe inform some actions. RELI is committed to supporting the evidence generation among our partners, and we are really supporting the incredible work that we have been doing, and also the work that is done by our members and partners to inform the dialogue, to inform policy space, to inform the practices in different areas. So welcome all, and let's deliberate and support each other when we share the progress that have been made and the challenges that we see and the action that we can take further. So karibuni sana, and congratulations to Uwezo Tanzania on this important milestone. Back to you, Grayson.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gaudence, for very insightful and informative welcoming note. We really appreciate the support that we have been receiving from the networks like RELI Tanzania, PAL Network, in supporting children of Africa to learn and acquire their important or basic foundational skills. So without wasting time, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome Uwezo Executive Director, Mr. Baraka Mgoamwende, to present the findings of the Uwezo PP Pre-Primary Education Assessment Report. And after the presentation, we will do the official launch of this report before we go into the panel discussion. So, Baraka, you are welcome, but I want to inform you that we are also, you can also reach us, or you can also follow this conversation, the launch, through the YouTube, PAL Network YouTube channel. I'm going to share the link through the chat, through the message box, through this Zoom call. So you are also able to share with other colleagues who cannot log on through Zoom, so that they can follow us through YouTube account. So please share widely. We need as many people to follow this conversation and give their inputs. And also, if you have anything you want to comment, please drop through the chat box. We will get to read your messages. Thank you. Welcome, Baraka Mgoamwende.
Thank you. Thank you, Grayson. Good morning, everyone. We are happy to have you today, as we are going to briefly share the report of a primary assessment report. To begin with, I would like to introduce what we are, and then I will go into the main theme of today. So Uwezo Tanzania, for those who maybe for the first time and you are interacting with us today, Uwezo is a national registered organization in Tanzania, and our vision is to see a society where all children are learning and they are realizing their full potential. So that's our vision. And our mission is we are committed to demonstrate how to improve learning outcomes and keeping communities and leaders focused on learning through assessments, research, innovation, partnership, and advocacy. To be able to do all this, we have our theory of change. And in our theory of change, we want to ensure that the education ecosystem is sufficiently sensitive to enable all children to realize their full potential. That's what we want to address. And how do we address that? We have main pillars, 4 pillars. One is evidence. We collect evidence, we collect data through research and assessment to ensure that everything that we do is evidence-based. Then after doing different studies, assessment, and research, then we come up with interventions, different interventions to try and address the challenges that we have found during the evidence collection. And then with that, we engage different actors in the network, the national, central government, other actors, partners, and all actors across in Tanzania and across East Africa. Then the 4th pillar is institutional capacity development. At Uwezo, we build our own capacity, but also build the capacity of other CSOs that are working around education in Tanzania. And therefore, we're partnering up with about 360 CSOs across Tanzania. So briefly, that is how we operate. Coming to the main report, the pre-primary education in Tanzania is compulsory for the children aged 4 to 5. However, the education and teachers policy and training policy allows children aged 3 to 4 to also join pre-primary education on voluntary. So age 4 to 5, this is a compulsory age, and they spend 1 year in pre-primary education. So that's how our policies guides the practice. These children are allowed to enroll in pre-primary class if early assessment says that they are ready and they demonstrate ability to be independent, and they can express themselves, and they can follow simple instruction. In pre-primary education, the aim is to grow or to support these children to grow holistically, emotionally, health-wise, and to improve their cognitive ability. However, we have this favorable policy environment, but what we are lacking is limited information on whether pre-primary education goals are actualized to the expectation. And that's where Uwezo comes in to try to explore and bring into everybody's awareness on the status of the early childhood education. So in order to conduct this study, what we did, we developed the tools by having a team of panelists with a background in early childhood education who are recruited and engaged to support the development and adaptation of the tools. And these panelists, we included the pre-primary teachers, head school teachers, and technical people from the Tanzania Institute of Education, representative from Ministry of Education, President Office, regional government, and local government were also part of this. And also, not to forget, the quality assurance. So the tools were developed, then we pre-tested the tools to see its relevance. And these tools had three main categories. One is to for school and classroom observation guide. Also, we developed a children assessment tool and head teacher and pre-primary school assessment tool. So the methodology that we used and the sample that we took is that we did the study in Chalinze district. And the reason we opted to go to Chalinze is because it was the new district with multiple socio-economic characteristics that were favorable for this kind of nature of the study. And it was purposive. Now, the assessment covered the 30 randomly selected villages, 600 households, involving 30 schools with pre-primary education, 30 head teachers, and 30 pre-primary teachers. So a total of, at Uwezo, the way we do assessment, we involve volunteers. So a total of 60 volunteers were selected and trained to collect data from the national curriculum, from the tools adopted from the national curriculum and international best practices, including the MEL-QO, EGRA, and EGMA. So the key areas that included assessment included enrollment patterns, classroom infrastructure, availability of learning materials, teacher qualifications, and parental engagement, and also inclusivity. So at Uwezo, just to take you briefly on how we handle our assessment. So our processes begins with pre-assessment, as I mentioned earlier, where we recruit partners, the people that we want to engage into this process, including the volunteers. We do the household listing, selection of the coordinators, training of the TOTs, and so that is part of pre-assessment. Then in the main assessment, we now bring in interviewing the villages, interviewing all members of sampled people. And then in the post-assessment, we do data check and data recheck that have been received from the field to make sure that they are correct and reflects the real practice. So we recheck the process and ensure data is entered and analyzed. So here are the synopsis of the finding. We have sampled some of the findings that we think they will fit for today's discussion. Rest of the findings they'll be shared in the main report that will be accessed through our website and other portals that will be shared today as we conclude the discussion. So in terms of enrollment. So we checked the enrollment by gender, and we found that boys are more enrolled than that compared to girls. So 42% of the enrolled children in pre-primary education were boys, while 48 were girls. And we also tried to check in terms of age. So we found out that the lower age, there is a minor discrepancy. In the lower age, you find more boys, and in the upper age, for example, 3 to 5, these are more boys. But when you go up to age 6 to 8, you'll see that 7 plus, you'll see that there is a small discrepancy whereby girls are a bit more, but cumulatively, boys are more enrolled than girls. Comes to the qualification of teachers and the availability of teachers to support the pre-primary education. The study checked about 117 pre-primary education teachers who were recorded, and among them 24 were male and 93 were female. So it suggests that more female teachers are the ones who are handling pre-primary education in our schools. And of these teachers, some were permanent teachers, and some were temporarily employed. So about 72%, these were permanent teachers. Then we checked the qualification. How many processes require the training to support the pre-primary education children? So in early education, we found that about 47% of the teachers were possessing the certificate of early childhood education, and therefore were qualifying to support the early childhood training. So the gap, if we should say, is that maybe there is a room to train more teachers so that they can children in pre-primary schools can be adequately supported. We also check the teaching and learning material. So the study suggests that generally there is availability of this teaching materials, including the curriculum. So we have a 2005 pre-primary curriculum, which was replaced in 2026 with a revised curriculum. So when we checked in this school, we found that at least 90% of the interviewed schools, there is availability of the pre-primary curriculum, but the older version. The newer version is available at 10%, and therefore this suggests that there is a room of circulating and availing the new curriculum for the teachers to use and adapt. So we also checked the availability of the textbooks that are prepared by Tanzania Institute of Education, and we found that at least 80% of the books are available in all the schools that where we interviewed, and only 20% had no textbooks. Also, we checked the store books. For the store books here, there is a huge gap. whereby only 70% of the interviewed schools have the storybooks. So the rest, about 93%, they don't have these storybooks. We also try to check if these training materials are displayed in the pre-primary classrooms, and the response shows that children work posted on the classroom was at 16%. So in most classroom, about 83%, there were no children work that were posted in the walls. We checked on the alphabets posted in the classroom walls. Here, at least 43% were posted, and 56% were the classroom had no alphabets in the classes. Then we checked on the numbers that are posted in the classroom walls. Here, the difference, the margin was small. At least 46% of the numbers were posted, and 43% classes had no numbers that were posted. We checked on the daily routine, if it's posted on the classroom, and only 26% of the classes were visited. They had this routine posted, whereas 73% had no daily routine in their walls. So pictures in the walls, only 60.7% of this classroom that were checked had the pictures in the walls. So this suggests that there is need to ensure that pictures are posted to continue to improve the cognitive growth of our children. Then another component was on parental engagement. So on parental engagement, we interviewed parents if they check the exercise books of their children. And the answer was yes. Almost 84% said they are checking the children books at least once a week. And 16% they said they don't check. On the other hand, we checked if they read the books with their children. So we checked if at least in the previous week they read books with their children, and here the gap was huge because only 27.8 indicated that they read books with their children, while 72% showed that they do not read books with their children. And again, we tried and see if parents are engaged in meetings at their school to work together with the teachers to see if to discuss together the challenges that are facing their children to learn. And we saw that, the stat suggests that only at least 65% of the parents showed that they were invited in the meetings, then they were attending meetings to discuss the learning progress of their children. It's not on this slide, but that was it is named and the situation that is we have. But we also recognize the presence of a guideline, WAWA, to emphasize the parent engagement in children's education. So we again try to check the school feeding program. If the schools has a feeding program, understanding that these children are young and they cannot stay in these primary classes on an empty stomach. So the stats suggest that only 35% of the schools have feeding program, while 65% have no feeding program. So there is a big problem that at this young age, children stay in school with an empty stomach. So recommendation, we have many recommendations, but mainly we think that preschool education plays a vital role in fostering holistic development in children, and it lays the foundation for lifelong long learning and ensures better learning outcome at the high levels of education. Therefore, we call upon stakeholders to collaborate, expanding the access of preschool education, and especially by addressing the barriers that are faced by hard-to-reach areas. This study, we also think that this study, this pilot study, can be expanded to now have a national representative picture, and that is a room also for stakeholders to come in and share the effort. So this study is, you can visit our website, uwezotanzania.or.tz, and interact with the report. Thank you, and over to you, moderators.
Recording in progress.
Thank you very much, Baraka Mwende, Executive Director for Uwezo Tanzania, for the presentation of the findings. I can see Samson Sita has raised his hands. So Samson, we will welcome, we'll have the sessions for comments and also for observations and also discussion. So please hold on, we'll give you a chance. And all other people, meanwhile, if you have anything you need to comment, you can share through the chat box, through this Zoom call. Therefore, I would like to take this opportunity to give a chance to take the Executive Director, Madam Mwajuma, to officiate this launch for actions that she will instruct us what should we do to signify that this launch has been this report has been launched officially. These findings has been disseminated. So welcome, Mwajuma, and I remind you, please continue following us through the YouTube channel, the PAL Network YouTube channel. We are also available there. Yeah, welcome, Mwajuma from TechDen. Madam Mwajuma, we really give you this chance. We are honored to give you an opportunity to launch our report. Karibu sana, Mwajuma.
Asante. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm on the way, traveling back to Dodoma. So happy to hear the presentation, and congratulations everyone from the team who were consulted to do this pilot study, but for Uwezo to organize the study. We are happy to receive the findings and the recommendations. I hope they'll be taken care for the relevant authorities and the stakeholders to implement the
Juma is muted.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm saying, can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you, Madam. Proceed.
Yes. Okay. It's now high time to launch our report. I'll recommend everyone to go to the reactions, and we all, you'll do the celebration. you'll click the celebration icons after me. So 1, 2, 3. Mtoto. So please do all the celebrations you wish to do through the icons in your Zoom, and we have done the launching officially.
Thank you very much, Madam. Thank you, everyone. This is amazing. This is really amazing. And we hope this report will really inform all of the educational stakeholders on the important action to take to improve the education for children of Tanzania and children of Africa as well. Therefore, now allow me to handle this session to my co-moderator, Madam Pauline Achoka from PAL Network, to take us to the next session. Welcome, Madam Pauline.
Good morning, everybody, and congratulations, Uwezo Tanzania, for the launch. This is a very good step, and we are happy. Yes, we are happy for this milestone that we have achieved. So I would want to welcome our panelists, Dr. Meena, Dr. Shukia, and Benjamin Masebo to come and have a conversation about the report and discuss the findings that we have just heard from Baraka. So I will introduce Dr. Meena. Dr. Meena serves as an education technical advisor at Haki Elimu in Tanzania. He brings an extensive experience in education, having worked as a college tutor, university lecturer, and curriculum developer. He is one of the pioneers of the School Readiness Program, which targets children who lack access to pre-primary education. He has also been instrumental in promoting Action Learning Program for the professional development of pre-primary teachers. Currently, Dr. Meena represents Haki Elimu at the National Multisectoral Early Childhood Development Program, contributing to efforts aimed at strengthening childhood development across Tanzania. Welcome, Dr. Meena. Next, I will introduce Dr. Shukia. Dr. Shukia is a senior lecturer and consultant in education, child psychology, and early childhood development at the University of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. He has over 15 years of expertise in education research. He has led and participated in numerous early childhood development research projects at both national and international levels, focusing on issues such as access, quality, transition, inclusion, and curriculum development. He has worked extensively with both government and non-governmental organizations, contributing significantly to the advancement of education in Tanzania. His work has informed policy reforms, strategic planning, including contributions to national assessments, and the validation of early learning standards. Dr. Shukia played a pivotal role as a member of the National Technical Team in the development of Tanzania Vision 2050. Internationally, he has collaborated with organizations contributing to global dialogues and research initiatives aimed at strengthening early childhood care and education system. Welcome, Dr. Shukia. Finally, I would like to welcome Benjamin Masebo. Benjamin is a program director at Uwezo Tanzania. Benjamin holds a master's degree in research and public policy and has over 14 years of experience in education in Tanzania. He has spent more than a decade working in the CSO sector, focusing on citizen-led assessments in foundational literacy and numeracy. Driven by his commitment to supporting children who are falling behind, Benjamin has spearheaded various programs, including the Jifunze initiatives, inspired by the teaching at the right level, many of you know it as TAL approach. Additionally, he has led My Village initiative in Tanzania, aiming to ensure that children in the village acquire foundational literacy and numeracy skills. That is Benjamin for us. So the three of them will come in and have discussions about the the report that we have just launched. If you're able to, Dr. Shukia, Dr. Mena, and Benjamin, please turn on your videos. I will ask a number of questions, and feel free to come in and answer the questions as you speak. And to our participants in Zoom and on the live, please feel free to put your questions in the chat or raise your hand, and we will respond to those questions immediately after. Immediately after this discussion. So I will start and just go directly. What are your comments on the findings? We'll start with Dr. Mena, go to Dr. Shukia, then finish with Benjamin. What are your comments on the findings, and what do you think should be done to improve the provision of pre-primary education in Tanzania?
Thank you very much. My name is Wilberforce Mena, as you have said. I'm working with Hakelim. Well, so regarding this study, I will say that the finding which we have just presented, they are just reflecting what is actually happening in Tanzania education systems. But this study is focusing very much on the quantitative part. It has talked a lot about data, about figures, about the numbers. And this is the reality in our primary schools. What I would say about this study, as much as it gives us the picture of what's happening in primary school, in pre-primary school in terms of quantitative information, I would like to see if we can have a study which can tell us much about the learning process. And I was very much surprised to find that we are now implementing a new curriculum, but the study finding indicate that there are some schools which have not yet received the curriculums. They are still using the old curriculum. To me, that is really alarming. It tells us a lot about how curriculum change and innovations is happening in our country. It means that there might be a lot of schools in this country which they are still using the old curriculum, and I think that's a serious problem. I've also been very much alarmed with the question of the storybooks, because I think with the primary school, with the pre-primary, storybooks are crucial than the textbooks. But the study indicates that yes, most of the schools they don't have these storybooks. I think that is also an area which those who are implementing the curriculum, they need to take it serious. But I've also seen that when we are talking about disability, I think there is a notion which is not used in Tanzania, the concept of mental impairments. This is where the people with the disability, they don't use these notions. They talk about intellectual disability. So I think when we are improving this report, we need to think about that. Yes, and there is a part of the stats, because I've just received the report, but I've seen somewhere where I saw that the enrollment of boys is higher than the girls. But there is, I don't know if they find exactly tell what's there, but there is a place where they talk about, I think because I don't have the report, I don't remember everything, but talk about at age 7, more boys were enrolled than girls. So I don't know exactly if that is the situations, because other studies indicate that parents, they are very much concerned with the children of age 0 to 8 as compared to the older children. So I think maybe, I don't know, that finding is that's a striking finding on my sides. So I think I stop there, and then my colleague maybe can say something. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mena. Dr. Shukia or Benjamin, do you want to come in with your comments?
Yes, I'll come in first before perhaps Benjamin. But let me join hands with all those who have congratulated Uwezo for this kind of initiative, because it highlights key issues, the findings, which perhaps are very important and timely for our country as we seek to improve the pre-primary education. Yeah, but also looking at the study, for me, I think it's was quite comprehensive, even if it was conducted in one district. But that is, it could be because of interaction with other kind of data. It could be representative of the situation which is happening in the primary education in Tanzania. But the study focused on very key variables that we use as indicators of quality in the primary education. It focused on the infrastructures, the availability of materials, but also focused on the teacher kind of qualifications, but also the parental engagement, which is key. Again, the food kind of issues, feeding programs in our schools. So for me, that was comprehensive enough because it touched the indicators that we normally use to assess the quality of primary education, apart from other things. But building from what Meana said, perhaps you could also have some more insights on the teaching process itself, how the teacher engage with the students, with the pupils. But also, I heard from Baraka that perhaps there are some assessment kind of whereby children were assessed on their readiness, because primary education is meant for preparing children for primary education. So perhaps moving forward, then we might need some concrete evidence that's showing when kids are graduating from primary education, what kind of readiness do they have to support their smooth transition to primary education. So perhaps we can think. I think there might be some insights from that, but we need to because evidence for sure, even at the national level, is lacking. To what extent our kids are ready for primary education or for standard one, because that is one of the main purpose or objective of the primary education, to prepare children, but we don't know how prepared are they when they graduate from the primary education. Yeah, but also on the findings related to parental engagement, the study gives us some insights, and perhaps again we need to look forward on the nature of engagement, because when we assess parents' engagement, we mainly focus on the extent to which parents are involved in terms of attending the meetings, or perhaps providing some maybe food or uniforms for their children or facilities. But we need maybe to push more on the level of engagement, because there was one question perhaps which was reported showing that only nearly 27% of parents were reading the storybooks or reading books to their children. For me, this is very critical because this is developmentally appropriate for children. So practice like that, parents engaging with their kids, reading books to aloud to their kids, or playing together to their kids, or participating in the material development, wherever, that perhaps we can lift this, the insight and lift the levels on how parents can be engaged, because sometimes parents maybe want to be engaged or involved, but they don't know exactly how they would be engaged in their kids. So we need to amplify the best practices which support learning, not only those variables that support perhaps the engagement with the schools as a whole. Yeah, so this is, for me, it's very critical. So maybe I end up here for today, but I concur with what Dr. Meana has just said. I was just adding on a few bullets to emphasize, of course, but thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shukia.
Thank you so much, Pauline. On my side, I'm so much interested with the report, and I can speak on two main issues. Number one is on the availability of teachers. We have seen from the report that at least every school which was surveyed, there are teachers who have been allocated or assigned to teach preschool, but the issue of having qualified teacher for the pre-primary education, I think that is still a challenge, because we have seen not more than 50% from the findings that qualified teacher or have attended teacher training to teach preschool children. So we think this is one area which need more improvement, and the part for the government to take care on it, at least ensuring that, because the pre-primary, we prepare children for the primary school, but also is a foundation or the beginning, or we prepare a child to grow holistic. So we need a qualified teacher who can support the children while in school. But also to anchor on what Meena and Shukia said on the issue of parent engagement, we know the provision of education is a cooperation between different education stakeholders, including parents, government, and even other stakeholders. So for the part of a government, we have seen the government have been doing a number of initiatives to ensure that the quality of education is provided by constructing classroom. We have seen supply of the textbook, but we need also the parents to take care of their children. Like we have seen, yes, they check exercise book, but we have seen the question on, did you take time to read any storybook at least once a week? So less than 50% of the parents who were able to read at least their textbook or any material with their children. So we need to emphasize more community or parents to have or to spend time with their children, because we know the preschooling need close support from parents, at least to take care of the children while they are now beginning of their learning journey. That's number one. Number two is on the issue of feeding program. Yes, we have seen from the report almost only 35% of the schools, they provide meals. Regardless, we don't know the quality of the meal which is provided at a school, but at least they provide anything for the small kids to take at school. But I think for this age, we have seen the age of 3 up to 5 years, children need to get meal at least after every 4 or 3 hours. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So if children are going to school spending more than 4 hours, they need to get anything for their stomach. So I think this is another area which need more emphasis on all the stakeholders, including the community or parents, to take part on provision of meals for their children. So from my side, these are the comments or what I can speak regarding the report. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Benjamin. So I will go ahead and ask our second question. And then after that, we will open it to the participants who have any questions or who would like to also make a response for a few minutes. I will also read the questions from the comment after our second round of questions. So what are your 3 recommendations to education stakeholders regarding the provision of pre-primary education? What are your 3 recommendations to education stakeholders regarding the provision of pre-primary education?
Yeah, maybe I come first before Dr. Meena. I don't know if I've broke the protocol, but I just want to chip in.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think for me, stakeholder also includes the government and the other whoever who are working on the field. So for me, the first one would be we need to invest more in this subsector, particularly the government, because it has a big share in terms of supporting or facilitate delivery for delivery of quality primary education. But when you look at the findings from the study, you look at the infrastructure, you look at the quality of teachers, you look at the issues related to materials in the classrooms. So you find that perhaps some more investment needed. So the government by itself can't do it by itself. So it needs some support from all those stakeholders who are involved to complement what the government provides to this primary subsector. You know, in our country, Tanzania is among the countries which is investing the least in the pre-primary subsector. So the investment kind of study shows this, that we're investing a little bit, too little at this subsector, but we believe that is important, but we are not investing to train good teachers, to have quality classrooms, to have wherever that is related to quality indicators in pre-primary education. So we need to push much investment, and this including training the teachers, but also supporting the feeding programs wherever, and the supply of books and whatever that is, it is involved. So for me, this is key moving forward, so that we can rectify what the study is telling us about these indicators. The second one is we needed to really push for the parents' or community engagement, because as I was saying, the government itself can't manage, perhaps due to limited resources. But when you have the community or parents' engagement, then we can diversify, or we can implement these. So the support from the communities, this involves much campaigns or much advocacy or much pushing the communities very hard to make sure that they will support these pre-primary subsector, supporting their pre-primary in their localities or wherever that is, or nearby schools. This is very, the community parental engagement should be more than what is doing now, so that we can really push for this quality pre-primary education. I understand there is a notion with the revised policy, pre-primary education is not compulsory. So this has a danger. That's why I'm trying to emphasize this investment and pushing, because it is not compulsory. If it's not compulsory, that means probably the government won't invest much, because it's just an optional. So it's maybe, so we need to push for the government to make it compulsory, but also we need to push for the government and other stakeholders to invest more. Making it not compulsory, that has a risk of not investing much in this particular component. The previous policy, pre-primary education was compulsory, but with the current one, it is not compulsory. So this is alarming, and we really need to be much aware of that, and try to find mechanisms on how best we can push for this. So I don't know if you have only 3 recommendations or 2, but these are my recommendations for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shukia. Benjamin?
Thank you, Pauline. Let me go second now. On my side, I have 3 recommendations. Number 1 is on, as we know, the provision of education. It needs a lot of money. So, but in education, we have a number of challenges facing our education, as we have seen from the report. So one of my recommendations is while addressing those challenges, we need to be well informed with research. So in addressing the issues, so the issue of research should be kept first priority, so that we address the right problem with the right solution. That's recommendation number 1. Number 2, in the provision of education, we have so many policies and guidelines. That's well and good, but you may find most of them are known by the government officials and education stakeholder, like maybe CSO, but the communities are not well informed on what is required in the provision of education. That's why we have seen also we have children of age 7 are in preschool. So but you may find, because parents, they are not well informed on those the age limit for the preschool. So we need to take back, or we need the community to be informed with those policies and the guidelines. The issue of advocacy should be there at least for everyone to have information on the provision of education, but also understanding on their responsibilities in the provision of education. My third recommendation is investing more on the preschool education. We know the small children, they have a lot of demands, so the government needs to invest more in the preschool. But not only government alone, as even Dr. Shukia said, but other education stakeholders like we, CSO, we have to complement the government effort in the provision of preschool. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Benjamin. Dr. Mena, do you have?
Yes, it is my time now. I think my colleague have said a lot, but I have something to say. Well, I'll start with parents. I think parents are key when we are talking about early learning and early education. But unfortunately, parents are not well prepared to take this responsibility. Sometimes we are becoming parent accidental. And we can shift blame to parents, but perhaps they don't know exactly what they're supposed to do. So my suggestion is that we need to support the parents. As much as we are going to school to collect information to schools, but we really need to go back to parents. Recently, we did a small study to find out the concept of responsive parenting, that idea itself. And we found that very little parents understand these concepts, and very little they are doing responsive parenting. It is highlighted in multi-sectoral programs, but real, not much are doing there. So I think we need to support parents and know exactly what does it mean by being a parent. So whoever is focusing on pre-primary education and even in ECD, he has to think about that component also. And we can prepare material perhaps to support our parents. Yes, because we have seen, for example, I know some studies which indicate that parents, they don't know even how to feed their children. And especially when you want how to feed, for example, a boy child and a girl child. What are the differences? So that's one area. The second issue, which my colleague have already mentioned, is about community. I think with the pre-primary education and the fact that it's not compulsory, I think we need to engage the community. We need to make sure that the community take the key responsibility in this area. And we need to support it, as my colleague have said. And the last issue, which I think we needed to discuss, is about the coordination. Of course, pre-primary education is part of the formal schools or formal basic education, but we also sometimes talk about daycare and ECD and whatever. And when you talk about pre-primary, you are referring ECD as it is. We are talking about children of age 0 to 8. That's what we have in our country. So in that situation, we needed to really have a well-established system of handling these children of age 0 up to age 8, including those children who are in pre-primary schools. Yes, because, for example, if I go back to the parents again, it's when you are talking to the parents that they have to read the books for their children. But our curriculum, they are talking about the competences and so many other things, which really they don't come up in most of our studies. We don't say exactly what the children at this age they can do. And the coordination also of ECD and pre-primary is facing some challenges. So I think as a country, this is what we're supposed to do now. We can still continue to push about making pre-primary compulsory, but it will take, though I don't think it will come today or tomorrow, but the children, we are still getting children every day. So we have to start to do something for them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mena. This is a very insightful discussion. So I welcome anybody who has any questions to raise their hand or to put them in the chat. We have a question from...
Sorry, moderator. Just one highlight here, just to emphasize what Benjamin is trying to say about the importance of research. We need more and more and more and more research. As I mentioned earlier, we don't even know at a national level the level of readiness of graduates from pre-primary education who are supposed to transition to primary education. This studies from Chalinze and perhaps a few from some other regions, but at national level, we haven't come to this understanding, even if we're claiming that this is primary education is a preparation, but we don't know how prepared our kids are. And perhaps you might also need some research trying to follow kids after graduation from pre-primary education. How do they fare when they go to standard 1 compared to those who did not have this pre-primary education experience? So we don't know. You are saying, yes, it is important, but you are relying much more on evidence from other countries. But when they are in standard 1, in standard 2, those who had experience in primary education, how do they fare in terms of learning, in terms of their social, emotional kind of aspects that we thought we were developing at primary education? So we need that kind of research for real to inform the policy and also other programs that are interested in this primary education. So I just wanted to overemphasize about the importance of research. We really lack data, lack information about primary education. We're just relying mostly on the research from other countries. Yes, they are informative, but we need to have contextually based kind of research, more and more research in this subsector. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Shukia. Thank you so much. Evena, you have your hand up. Go ahead and unmute and either give your comment or ask your question.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Uwezo and all. My name is Evena Masai. I am director of an NGO called Comprehensive Support to Persons with Disabilities. And our main aim is to promote inclusive education, to ensure that children with various disabilities are included in the learning process and in mainstream schools. Now, firstly, I should commend Uwezo for selecting Chalinze district, because Chalinze, there are many types of people living there, from the pastoralists, farmers, traders, pet traders, a different cross-section of people. So I commend them for selecting Chalinze. Now, my first question is about the survey. It's very good, and the report is very good and shows a lot of challenges which are facing this early childhood learning. I would like to ask if in these schools there are some children enrolled with various disabilities, meaning that those who need specific needs. Because from my point of view, we have the teachers. Some are trained, but some are not trained. And I'd like to know if there are some who are trained in helping or being able to include these children with various disabilities in learning. Of course, you have those who are visually impaired, those who are hearing impaired. I don't know if they are enrolled, because I have not studied in some schools. When parents want to enroll these children, some schools do not enroll them because they say that we don't have teachers who are trained in special needs education. So this is my question, if there are any in these schools. And my another observation is that these classrooms, I've seen that from the report that there are no even pictures on the walls, there are no numbers. And we know that when you are teaching such children, they are young, 3 to 5 years, they are still young. And of course, seeing is more important in learning. So I'm not sure if these teachers have not been able to prepare even simple pictures or simple numbers to put on the walls, or they are not available in the school, because if they are well trained, they can use even the available natural resources to make very simple pictures which they can place in the classrooms. Because a talking classroom is more accessible by such children, they can be able to observe and learn better. This is the second. And then the third one is about feeding. You know, these children are young and they need food. A child with an empty stomach can't learn. So what efforts are being made, because we know education is free, not free in all aspects, because parents have to contribute. In many schools, parents contribute in feeding the children. So I don't know if there have been some efforts to ensure that parents are involved. And in the learning, parents are very important in the learning of the children. And I don't know, because they need the awareness. They don't know their roles and responsibilities in ensuring that their children are learning. So we need more sensitization, more awareness, so that the parents can know their roles, how to be involved in the learning of their children. Of course, some can't learn, some do not know how to read or write, but in that aspect, even other members of the family can be able to help the children in learning. And another issue is about the dissemination of guidelines or policies so that everyone is aware. The government makes very good policies, very good good guidelines, but they are not disseminated. You find out teachers don't know these guidelines, parents don't know. So efforts have to be done so that whatever is made by the government, then it's accessible by all the cross-section of the society. And finally, about funding. Actually, all the gaps which have need some financial support. So we have to ensure that we advise the government to put more funding in education, especially in the early learning, because this is foundation of the children. When they learn better at these early stages, then they can learn better when they go up to other stages of learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Evena. Those are very many points in one. I will invite Samson to bring his questions or comments, and then I will allow our panelists to react. Yes, Samson.
Thank you so much, moderator, and big congratulations to Uwezo for this very comprehensive and informative report. It's a comment, it would be like more of a question. Yeah, I was so much keen and interested in the angle of parental engagement by using WAWA. So according to the findings, they use through the guidelines, but also had some insights on the parental engagement angle. But then my comment was, going through the parental engagement guideline, the WAWA that was issued by the Minister of Education and Science and Technology, I saw some of the limitations. For example, the cultural contextualization for mobile and semi-nomadic societies, and I believe some of these societies were also found in the study area, but also the gender issues on how gender provisions are present, but they are not so, it does not capture the transformative nature and norms and the dynamics in that area of parental engagement. So I wonder if they found any revelations on that. And the last angle also on the same, the guideline is not very keen, is not very explicit in the area of incorporating the 21st century skills in building capacities through the WAWAs. So I was wondering if they found any revelations in that and what possibly could be the specific recommendations on the area. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Samson. I will allow Dr. Shukia, Dr. Mena, and Benjamin to just come in however you feel fit to respond to the comments and the questions from Evena and Samson.
Yeah, thank you, Pauline. Let me start before the doctors are coming in. Just to respond the first question on issue of disability, yes, the research also recorded the information regarding children with disability, and was very good to just find our education system is inclusive, because we find children with autism, low vision, mental impairment. So when you go to the main report, you will get those information. So that was captured, Mama Evena. Regarding the issue of classroom display, yes, I would say yes and no. There's a very big challenge in our classrooms. Teachers are trying their level best to prepare those teaching aid, even putting on the walls, but nature of our classrooms, they don't have doors, some of them, so they are distracted by the children. So you may just go during the day of evaluation or correcting data, you find maybe the pictures or other kind of display have been distracted. And you find the nature of the display or teaching aids which are available are those which is not of the interest of the children. If you go, you will find the timetable is almost there, but you find those toys and the other kind of teaching aids have been taken by the other children of other classes. So I would say this is a very big challenge depending on our nature of our school infrastructure. Also, in some of the school during our data correction day, you find because it was done toward at the end of the year, during the examination period, you may find this national examination. So they don't require a teacher having other material, maybe which children can read or can assist them during examination. So teachers are supposed to remove all the teaching aids in there or the display from the classroom if that classes is used for the examination. So I would say teachers are trying their level best, but sometimes the environment is not conducive for them to keep those displays for the children. On the issue of feeding program to the children, yes, this is very important, and we have seen even the government have released their circular on feeding program in schools, which give guidelines on how school can and even the community working together, ensuring children are getting meals in schools. But it needs more emphasis for the community to be aware and to be part and parcel in the contribution of the meal, provision of the meals in schools. That's why we are saying, yes, this is one of the research, but we need to research more. What are the setback on provision on other kind of service? Because you may find in a school, one of the school, they just provide the meals to the children very smooth. But when you go to school B, they don't even provide anything. So what are the main challenges need to be addressed in those area or diversity? So let me give space to other, my colleagues can contribute to other questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin. Dr. Mena, welcome. Thank you.
No. Thank you very much. I don't think if I have anything to contribute in this, because the researcher can say much of what this question are coming direct from the research. Yes, but the only thing I can say that I just want to remind the Masabo that those people with a disability, they are talking about intellectual disability and not mental impairments, just to re-emphasize my point.
Thank you. Dr. Shukia, do you have any comments for us or responses?
Yes, similar to what Dr. Mena has said, but just to emphasize that, despite the fact that the research generated information about disability, but overall, this is again the area that is that we are largely lacking information, not only from this study, but also because we don't know even because the curriculum is talking about individualized learning, but to what extent the practice individualized kind of learning, taking into consideration that our classrooms have children with disabilities, but also have children. Our classrooms are inclusive and have children with disabilities. So to what extent is the teaching learning process accommodate to these particular children? Because if you're using the same curriculum, centralized curriculum, the same kind of assessment, then you are claiming that you are following the individualized, then that might be a challenge. So also we need, for sure, we need this data information about disabilities, children with disabilities. Even if you look at the national level kind of statistics, you may find that we lack this consistent information about children with disabilities. So we're emphasizing on the importance of much more effort on data, including children with with disabilities. Whenever we do our research, then we have to think of this particular group. So it's quite important. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shukia. I will invite my colleague Grayson to read any questions. Okay, we have Richard first, and then Grayson, you can read the comments and questions from the chat. Richard, go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning. I am excited to be part of this conversation. I start by commending Uwezo for this an excellent work on pre-primary education. My name is Richard Tema, and I am the parent of the pre-primary education pupil. And I am struck by some of the findings in this assessment. And let me limit myself to only parental engagement in pre-primary education. First, as a parent, through this assessment, I just realized we parents, we citizens, we engage less on pre-primary education compared to primary education, secondary education, and any other education. So, and probably we don't engage much in this section of education because probably we don't know. We know less of what is happening in this primary education. Much as we from this report, we hear that there's already a curriculum, policy, and everything. But we parents or the citizens are unaware of what is happening in pre-primary education. They are not aware on what should happen there, so that when they follow up, at least they should know which to follow up. So that's why I find that we can only follow up with the primary education, because at least we know we can take those performance report, compare, check and follow up with the teacher and things like that. But with the pre-primary education, we know less and less and less. So I call upon that stakeholder, starting with the Uwezo and so many other stakeholders, to continue engagement and in this area, and especially for Uwezo, if next time you are going to do assessment like this, if we can dive deep on these areas of parental engagement, and first even assessing how many parents are aware that there's a curriculum in itself, just to know that there's a curriculum, because I was tried last year, last 2 years, that's when I get to learn that there's a curriculum. But previously I used to thought that when children go to pre-primary education, they just play with teachers. And that's the notion of so many parents. So I think first is to assess the awareness of parents in terms of what do they understand with relation to this early childhood education, so that if we know what they know and what they don't know, then from there we are able to start doing a lot of campaign, a lot of awareness creation on what should be happening in the pre-primary school, so that at the community level, people should be able to start following up, to start to engage and so forth and so on, so that we can make this pre-primary education, which is foundational, success. This is my contribution. Thank you very much, and I appreciate.
Thank you very much, Richard. I will now invite Grayson to read for us the comments and questions from the chat.
Thank you very much, Colin. Thank you, Richard Tem, from a parent for a child at pre-primary education. Actually, that's very nice to hear that we have parents here, so that they are learning what exactly they should do for their children. So I'm going to read some few comments from the chat box. To begin with, this is Medgoret Nakabogo from Uwezo, Uganda. Congratulations to Uwezo Tanzania upon the launch of this report. So Medgoret is the director of Uwezo Uganda, so we are happy. And thank you, Dr. Medgoret. And also, we have another comment. Good morning, everyone. I'm Evena Masai, Director of Comprehensive Support to Persons with Disability, COSUPED, Tanzania. I'm happy to participate in this report presentation. I congratulate you, Uwezo Tanzania. Thank you. These are just comments and congratulations. And also, we have some congratulations from George Ubuyu from Kisarawe. And also, we have congratulations from Samson Sita, from Twangonet and Joe in Mtwara, and also we have congratulations to Uwezo Tanzania team for the launch of this informative pre-primary report. It is clear from the findings that there is still a lot to work needs to be done. A lot of work needs to be done in the areas of ECD. An interesting exploration would be around the resource allocation towards ECD. This is Dr. Irene Nyam, the executive director of Rail Africa, based. Its headquarters in Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you, Dr. Irene Nyam. And also there are a question and comment from Samson Sita. So I don't know if it has been responded, because Samson also asked the question. So if it has been responded, we will ignore it. If it's not, so the panelists will respond it. So comment. Indeed, a powerful presentation and report. I got a lot of insights. I was very keen in understanding how parental engagement was embedded in the start. I was wondering if there was any relation you got from this angle in relation to how a new PTA guideline, MOSTI, Parental Engagement Association guideline by Minister of Education, provides a national parental engagement intervention. Upon a quick review, here are some of the issues I found. Limited cultural contextualization for mobile or semi-nomadic pastoralistic communities. Gender provisions are present but not transformative. Norms and power dynamics are not tackled directly. No explicit incorporation of the life skills or 21st century skills capacities to prepare communities for changing well. That is from Samson Sita. And also we have other comments from Christopher Peter. This is significant and meaningful findings. Your dedication and commitment to advancing learning outcomes continue to inspire us all. Well done. Congratulations, Uwezo Tanzania. Thank you, Christopher Peter. And also we have congratulations from Gaudens Kapinga, but also a comment for children with special needs and disability. How is early detection and assessment for learning disability being handled at PP level, ensure proper placement and support? So this is a question supposed to be addressed. Benjamin or Dr. Shukia or Dr. Meena, you can support on responding this. Could it be a lens to reflect or ensure inclusion? This is from Kapinga. Emmanuel Peter, would you please share your screen? Yeah, this was done. It was shared. So I agree with Dr. Shukia recommendations that we need to make preschooling compulsory. Otherwise, the government will not guarantee resources for preschoolers. So thank you very much. These were comments from the chat box, and indeed they are very good comments. But we have a question on the issue of disability from Kapinga. So can we give time maybe to Benjamin, Dr. Shukia, or anyone else to respond for 1 minute? Then we proceed and close. Thank you, Benjamin. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kapinga, for your question and observation regarding to the children with special needs. As we said, yes, we have the children with special needs in our schools, but our teachers, some of the schools teacher attended the training on how to handle those children with special needs, because we had an opportunity also to do an interview with the teacher specifically on kind of the training, on what kind of training they have attended. But you may find some of them, because we have not we have not analyzed all the data and put in our report. But some of the teacher have attended special training to handle those children with special needs. And on the issue of assessment, yes, they have very special way on assessing them, but in reality, you may find is still challenging, because you may find in one school there are more than one disability. So if a teacher is aware on those with hearing impairment, will not be able to capture those with autism and the other disability, but still is a challenge, and this needed to be addressed. Thank you.
Yeah, just to add on what Benjamin has said on issues related to early identification and assessment for for learning for children with disabilities. Yeah, I think again, one of the objective of the pre-primary education, apart from preparing children for pre-primary and for primary education, is to identify children with special needs and provide appropriate interventions. So this is clearly stated in the objective. So identification, but also providing intervention so that the children can learn or can be engaged in the teaching learning process. However, yes, we have some teachers with some knowledge on handling children with disabilities, but for sure, if you look on data from elsewhere in the country, apart from Chalinze, then very few teachers have been trained on how to handle children with disabilities. Again, teachers are expected perhaps to conduct some kind of diagnosis in a way to identify children, then provide the intervention. But this is not happening to the expectations, and sometimes perhaps teachers rely, the schools when kids are enrolled rely on information from parents. Rely from information from parents, particularly on those disabilities that could be easily identified. For instance, a child who has visual kind of impairment, perhaps a blind one, or with a hearing deaf kind of, or physical kind of disability, which could be easily identified. So they rely on this, on that. But when it comes, some disabilities might not easily be visible. It needs some kind of training to know that this kid has a mild kind of hearing. We have experienced some cases where kids are in the classroom. The teacher knows that the kid is hearing, but unfortunately they are not hearing. So this indicates that we lack systematic diagnosis or systematic identification procedures of children. So this is an area that also we need to emphasize. There could be some guidelines, but they are not clear to teachers, but they are not to the effect So again, as practitioners, as researchers, as stakeholders involved in this subsector, we really needed to push for this particular objective of pre-primary education, that aiming at identifying and providing proper intervention for children with special needs or for children with disabilities, so that they can benefit from the education system that they are enrolled in. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Richard Shukia. Dr. Meena, do you have anything to add for 30 seconds?
No, I have nothing to add.
Thank you very much. Thank you, our panelists. Actually, these are very insightful comments and response from you. We have one additional comment from Elikana Katambi, the chat box. According to our education policy on the part of disabilities, the education guideline states there is a different categories of disabilities: intellectual impairment, physical impairment, PI, VI, HI, autism, albinism, multiple impairment. Hence refers to Dr. Meena. We don't have intellectual disability. It is intellectual impairment. Thank you very much, Elkana. Thank you very much. And I've shared the evaluation form for this webinar. We would like to get your feedback about this webinar or regarding the report launch and the findings. Please take your time, like 2 to 3 minutes to complete. The form is shared through the chat box of the Zoom link that we are using. So before we close, please take time to fill it. And I would like to welcome Executive Director for Uwezo Tanzania, Baraka Mgohamwende, to close this session official, and we really thank you.
Welcome,
welcome, Baraka.
Yeah, thank you very much, Preston. Thank you very much, everyone who attended this webinar. It is very productive, and we are happy to have received your insights, your comments, and your active engagement in this webinar. One call that I would like to make is that I would encourage each one of you to set time to go through the report. We have tried to make it a very brief report with only 18 pages, but very informative. Some of the findings here were not discussed, but when you interact with the report, you have that opportunity to understand further how the pre-primary education in Tanzania is operating. We have, for example, findings around age-appropriate desks, if they are available, and the results there showing that in some cases even children are sitting in the floor, a bare floor. So those things can be seen in the main report. We have highlighted things, for example, the availability of the playground. Are these children really playing while they are in pre-primary to stimulate them to grow their cognitive and to grow healthy? So all these parameters are covered in that report. And again, we've checked things, for example, availability of electricity, how many schools or preschool have electricity and how many do not have. We have checked even the quality of the toilet that are available for these children, taking an emphasis of what if it's a child and they have this learning impairment? How are they accommodated in this pre-primary setup? So alongside what we have presented, there are a lot more. insights in the main report, and please kindly engage or interact with it for more insight. Thank you, everyone, for attending. We are happy to have been joined with you and looking forward for your continued support for Uwezo work. Thank you and have a good day. Have a nice weekend.
Go Hamwende, thank you. So guys, we really thank you for this. Asanteni sana. You will read this report through the website for Uwezo Tanzania, as our director has said. So shortly the report will be in the website. Kindly go through Uwezo website. Thank you. Asanteni sana.